Hey everyone, it's Ken and Data Monkey back again for another episode of Monkey Shorts. And in this week's episode, I'm super stoked to be able to show you some very fresh stuff with Excel Power Pivot. And that on its own is just awesome. So let's take a quick look here. I'm going to take a look at this spreadsheet. This comes out of many of the courses I teach at Skillwave, Self-Service BI Bootcamp, and Building Financial Statements, where we have an income statement here, but our values are showing as negative for revenues, positive for expenses, and the bottom line is actually backwards because our expenses exceed our revenue. So I'd prefer this be a negative number, revenues be positive, but I want my expenses to stay positive and still add up. So what we teach people to do is actually build some logic to generate a set of values that show -1 for our revenues, -1 for our bottom line, and +1 for these, so we can basically multiply the original by the display factor to come up with the actual. Now, before I go and show you the classic formula for this, I just want to open this up for a second here, just to explain the logic a little bit. When we look at the filter context for the class column, our first 4 lines only have a single value, revenues. Our next 5 lines only have a single value for expenses. But the trick with this one here is that there are multiple values in the grand total, and this can cause some issues if you're just trying to make a simple if statement. So let's go look at the Power Pivot measure for this. If I go to Measures, Manage Measures, I'm just going to move this out of the way and grab the display column here, and we'll say Edit, and I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. What you can see is that we use this has one value if values structure. So we check if the COA class has one value. If it doesn't, like on the grand total line, we're going to return -1. Okay, and that's what happens down here. But if we only have one value showing up, what we then do is we nest in another if statement that says if the values of the COA class column equal expenses, we'll use 1, otherwise -1. And this is great. It's worked fine for years. But wouldn't it be cool if we could actually simplify this by using a measure pattern like this? Selected value, we'll check the value for COA class. If there's a single value, that's what it returns. If there's multiple, we'll return the multiple. We can then test that resulting text string to see if it equals expenses. If it is, it's 1, otherwise -1. Much easier to read. The challenge with this formula has never worked in Excel Power Pivot, at least not until yesterday. And this is pretty awesome. The Power Pivot team has actually worked on, for our Excel insiders at this point in time, is actually bringing the Power Pivot data modeling formulas closer to parity with Power BI Desktop. And you can see that we've got remove filters here. We've got a whole bunch of functions that we can actually use inside Excel Power Pivot now. So we're getting much closer to parity with Power BI Desktop. So if you've been wondering if Power Pivot's been abandoned, nope, Microsoft is still working on it. This is awesome news, and I'm super, super stoked to start exploring some of these formulas inside Power Pivot in Excel. That's awesome. Thank you for watching this episode of Monkey Shorts. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to click on the Skillwave logo on the bottom left in order to subscribe to our channel. Or if you'd like to see more videos in the series, click on the playlist tile on the right. And if you'd like to get more comprehensive training, you should definitely check out our website at skillwave.training.